Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Jamar84 here once again, and we are back. Told you it would not be too long before the videos, baby. So, make sure if y'all did not watch the last video with that pizza delivery BS, I really implore y'all to go over there and watch it, especially that second one. That second one, I had a lot more questions than I normally do with some of this stuff, and there was just a lot of inconsistencies that didn't make damn sense. And I came with my own conclusion. But make sure y'all go check that one out before you come over here. So this is going to be the two ice cream truck stories. Now, normally these stories are coded in or take place, at night or, in some desolate place, the woods or whatever. Now, an ice cream truck. Now, what I'm hoping I don't see. You normally see ice cream trucks like in the broadest of daylight, in the middle of the afternoon. You know, so if I start seeing an ice cream truck in the middle of the woods in the dark and some crazy shit, I'm gonna be like, girl, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What? Why is there an ice cream truck here at night? So let's just see. Let's get into the gig. Make sure I get y'all snacks. Give us something to eat, get comfortable, get you a little drink, or do some other things if that's your fancy. And let's get into it.
It was supposed to just be another story. As an investigative journalist, I've tackled everything from political corruption to corporate scandals, but nothing could have prepared me for the chilling reality behind the disappearances of several children in my own small lakeside hometown. It began with whispers of a strange ice cream truck that roamed the streets, its music playing at odd late hours.
Odd late hours? That should have been y'all first indication. Like I just told y'all, you only see the ice cream truck in the early afternoon. So this man driving around 8, 9 o'clock at night, girl.
And ended in a nightmare I could barely recount. The story first came to me from a distraught parent whose desperation to find their missing child led them to my office. Amidst their tears and fragmented stories, one detail stood out: the haunting melody of an ice cream truck that their child had followed moments before vanishing. Intrigued and disturbed, I drove around there, a quaint village with tree-lined streets that hid a sinister secret. My first evening there, I decided to track the ice cream truck. Stationed in a rented minivan, I waited as twilight deepened into night, until finally, the faint strains of a familiar jingle broke the silence.
That's gotta be it. Time to see where this leads.
I tailed the truck discreetly, noting its path and the stops it made in deserted areas of the neighborhood. The driver was a middle-aged man, his face partly obscured by a cap and a nondescript uniform. Following him over 5 more nights, I noticed erratic patterns, sudden accelerations, abrupt stops, and an unusual detour to the outskirts of town. The night I decided to confront him, my gut screamed to tread carefully. Armed with my recorder and a can of pepper spray,
I'm glad that you went with something. Because I'm like, girl, if you just walk out there with a microphone talking about something, are you kidnapping these children? And you expect them to just give you a full-fledged Barbara Walters interview. It's like, girl, what are you going to do in case he decides to resist, girl? And I mean, pepper spray is cute. But I'm more into if you've already done a crime, I'm more into the pew pew style. I need to keep that on me just in case the pepper spray goes, not the way I want it to go. I need something with a little bit more of a guarantee. But yeah, do your thing, honey. Let's see how this goes.
I approached him as he parked near an old abandoned warehouse.
Excuse me, sir. I'm a journalist. Mind if I ask a few questions?
His reaction was instantaneous and terrifying. His face twisted in anger, and his eyes a chilling, empty stare fixed on me. Get the hell out of my sight, or so help me God!
Is it your ice cream truck?
Get away from me!
Do you...
Honestly, at this point, you got it. You right. Why are you interviewing him? I feel like you should have just gotten footage of him doing whatever the hell he's out here doing, and then reported that to the police. You didn't even have to engage. You just throwing yourself into the line of fire and danger for no reason, girl. I know this is probably for you, the content, for the job. I know you were a journalist and all that, but your life is in danger. Is this covered in your insurance? being stabbed.
You know a boy named Danny? He went missing last week.
He stopped in his tracks. He knew. Worse yet, he knew that I knew. Before I could react, he lunged at me, but I managed to dodge and ran. He chased after me as I sprinted towards the warehouse in panic. The door slammed shut behind me as I entered, the echo of his enraged shouts following me into the darkness. Inside, the air was bitingly cold, and the faint smell of chemicals mingled with vanilla was nauseating. As my eyes adjusted, the horror of what this place was became clear. Ice sculptures. No, not sculptures. Frozen children, posed as if in play, surrounded me. Their faces...
Oh, girl. Not him kidnapping the children. Wait, are we watching? You know what? I ain't even gonna say that. All right, well, all right, let's see.
...is forever locked in silent screams.
Oh my god, what have you done?
I stumbled backward, my recorder falling from my numb fingers. All thoughts of the story lost to a primal urge to escape. But he was there at the door, blocking my only exit, his breath fogging in the cold air.
Pepper spray, girl. Remember you got that pepper spray, honey.
You wanted a story, didn't you? Here it is. I'm preserving the future. A new ice age is coming, and they will survive it. Thanks to me. His ramblings were disjointed, the raving.
Girl, what? A new ice age is coming and you're preserving the future? So you're trying to freeze these children like if they're pieces of chicken wings? Like what? You're preserving them for later? Like that's how humans work? Like, no. These children are freezing to death, sir. And if the ice age is coming, why do they need you to freeze them now? What are you talking about?
Of a madman lost in his delusion. He approached, a sick grin spreading across his face as he pulled a large, ice-coated chain from behind him. You can join them, be part of the story, forever. The terror of that moment, the realization that I might not escape, was overwhelming. I pulled out my pepper spray and sprayed him, the mist catching him full in the...
Okay. We're getting somewhere. You're not letting me down completely, girl. I appreciate that.
The face. He stumbled back, howling in rage and pain, giving me just enough time to run. My heart pounded as I dashed through the warehouse, searching desperately for another way out. My lungs burned as I raced through the labyrinthian warehouse, dodging between shadows and crates, the icy ground beneath my feet threatening to betray my escape at any moment. The psycho's enraged howls grew distant, but the echo in the vast frozen hall made it impossible to pinpoint his location. I knew he was disoriented, but not incapacitated, and every second counted. My mind raced, desperate for a solution, when my foot kicked against something hard and metallic on the floor. A flashlight. Seizing it, I flicked it on, the beam cutting through the darkness. The light revealed a rear exit, obscured by heavy curtains. My heart leapt with a mixture of hope and dread. As I reached for the curtain, a loud crash echoed through the warehouse. He was close, too close. The cold had sharpened his rage into...
What the hell? Did he turn into the damn beast or something? What is that?
Something primal, and the brief respite from the pepper spray was wearing off. I pulled back the curtain and pushed open the heavy door, the night air hitting me like a wave. Outside, the terrain was uneven, littered with old industrial debris and overgrown with weeds. My mind screamed to run, to put as much distance between myself and the madhouse as possible. I stumbled across the uneven ground, my breath loud in the silent night. Then, just as I thought I might make it, a hand clamped down on my shoulder, spinning me around with terrifying strength. Where do you think you're going? You didn't interview me yet! His face, distorted by fury and the red welts from the pepper spray, was terrifying. He swung a heavy chain which
Ooh, bitch.
which I barely dodged. His movements were erratic, driven by fury and the chilling effects of his own madness.
Stay back. Help. Help.
Baby, do you got more pepper spray? This is why, see, I told y'all at the beginning, pepper spray is cute. It's great. Love it. We need something with a little bit more guarantee. You know, a little cat boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this went left very quick. And, now what?
Help me.
I screamed at the top of my lungs, hoping against hope that someone might hear me in this abandoned part of town. He lunged again, the chain whistling through the air. I ducked and felt it graze the top of my head, a near miss that sent shivers down my spine. In that moment of his extended reach, I saw my chance. I kicked with all my might, aiming for his groin. There was a sickening pop, and he howled, collapsing momentarily.
Whoa, a sickening what? Did you just bust this man's testicle? I mean, work. Good job, but ooh, as a person with the male genitalia myself, ooh, that just rang a bit of a shake in my body. Because if you did what I think you just did, ooh, I'm sorry, just the mental image just kind of shake me a little bit.
To the ground. Pain exploded in my foot as well, but adrenaline dulled it. I didn't stop to think. I ran. Every step was agony. My lungs screamed and my foot throbbed, but fear lent me speed. Lights in the distance grew brighter, and I heard voices, real living voices that weren't in the throes of madness. It was a patrol, a random check by local police, drawn perhaps by my desperate screams. "Ma'am, are you okay? What happened?" I collapsed in front of them, words tumbling out between gasps.
The ice cream truck driver. He's back there. He's taken children, frozen them. Please, you have to stop him.
The officers sprang into action, radios crackling to life as I sat on the cold ground, the reality of my escape washing over me in waves of relief and horror. The next hours were a blur of lights, questions, and the distant sounds of sirens as backup arrived to secure the scene. Danny was rescued, barely alive. They found 6 other kids frozen there forever. The ice cream man was apprehended. His reign of terror conclusively ended. Reflecting on that night, narrating this from the safety of daylight and the sanity of normalcy, I realize how close I came to becoming another frozen figure in his grotesque gallery. It was supposed to be just another story, but it became a testament to the darkest corners of human nature and the incredible will to survive that we all harbor within us. This story changed me. It had to. No one walks away from such a brush with death unchanged. And while I continue to write, to expose, to unveil, I now do so with a profound awareness of the darkness that lurks behind the most mundane faces. 15 years have passed since that night, but the memories cling to me like the cold never left my bones. It was the summer of '09, a time when the jingle of the ice cream truck still meant carefree days and sweet respite from the heat. That was until Mr. Frosty turned our innocence into a living nightmare. It started innocently enough. My friends and I were playing in the park when we heard the familiar tune winding its way through our neighborhood. We raced towards it, coins clutched in eager hands, unaware that we were running into a trap. "Hey, Mr. Frosty, 4 chocolate cones, please." His smile was wide, but
Mr. Frosty, why he look? How he looking? I don't like Mr. Frosty, child.
his eyes, there was something hollow about them, like he was looking through us, plotting. "Oh, you children are naughty, aren't you? I don't see your parents around. You aren't playing alone, right?"
What? Sir, why are you looking like that? Who hired this man? Y'all looked at this man in the interview and said, yes, put him out there and service the kids of our community. What?
It's a bad world out there, kids. Bad people roam around. No parents, only friends. Now, can we have our 4 chocolate cones, please, Mr. Frosty? Of course! How about I give you 8 cones? If you promise not to tell your parents, it'll be our little secret. Our eyes lit up. 2 hours of playing chase and then 2 chocolate cones? The day couldn't have been better. But Mr. Frosty didn't hand it out to us. He called us to the back of the truck, opened the doors, and carefully looked around before asking if we would like to look around at all the different ice creams he had. We couldn't have asked.
Honestly, this is probably one of the most straightforward cases of just upright stranger danger. Like, first of all, the parents of all these kids are negligent as hell, okay? These kids look like they between 6 and 10. Why they ain't got no older sibling or parental unit, some sort of chaperone watching them outside playing? Okay? Why is there nobody around? Who's in charge here? And then, did y'all not teach these kids not to go to strange men and go in the back of their vans, luring them with candy, puppies, and all sorts of other bullshit? Who are the parents of these children? They failed y'all. Because, girl, this is Stranger Danger 101.
Asked for anything better, and the 4 of us hopped in. The world outside faded to a muffled echo as the doors slammed shut. The interior of the truck was a far cry from the colorful facade we were used to. It was dark, the air bitingly cold, with a stench of something rotten lingering beneath the sweet aroma of vanilla and strawberries. A big standing freezer unit at the back tinted glass so no one outside could see in, and the noise just drowned, which I realized years later that he had done soundproofing. Welcome to my real ice cream parlor, kids. Here you'll become part of my special collection. He laughed maniacally. His laughter was a harbinger of the horror that awaited us. It was at that moment where I felt something was about to go wrong. He revealed his games with a twisted glee, each one designed to test how long we could withstand the freezing temperatures of the freezer. He promised us 2 ice creams at the end of every game. His favorite was freeze tag, a sick version where being it meant being locked inside the freezer for 10 minutes that stretched into eternity. Let's see who can be as cold as ice. The winner gets a special treat from Mr. Frosty. With that, he shoved me inside the freezer. I remember screaming, crying, but the more I cried, the colder my face went. I banged my small hands on the frosty walls of the freezer, but it made no sense. By the time I came out of the freezer, I remember that I was numb. My throat had gone sore.
And again, this van has not gone anywhere, from what we can tell. This van has been stationary. No one's parents has walked outside and checked, hey, where's my child? My child hasn't come into the house for an extended period amount of time. I wonder where they could be. And then this thing is stationary. No one is looking at the ice cream.
And I couldn't be bothered about Mr. Frosty's ice creams anymore. One by one, he shoved the others inside as well, and they shared the same ordeal. His games only got cruel, each round getting more terrifying than the last. We huddled together for warmth, our breaths turning to vapor in the frigid air, our spirits breaking bit by bit. But it was his moment of sudden rage that truly revealed the depth of his madness. If we cried or begged, he would fly into a fit, banging on the freezer with his fists, screaming about silence and the purity of cold. Quiet! The ice spirits don't like noise. You'll upset them! The ordeal felt endless, a cycle of terror, cold, and desperation. But even in the depths of despair, a flicker of hope ignited within me. I remembered the music system used to play the jingle that lured us in. It was our only link to the outside world, our only chance at salvation. I remember telling this to my friends when Mr. Frosty got out, while locking us in to handle a customer. We need to reach the music system. If we can change the tune, maybe someone will notice something's wrong. The plan was fraught with risk, dependent on Mr. Frosty's erratic behavior and our timing, but it was a chance we had to take. The darkness within the truck seemed to grow denser as night enveloped us, a tangible manifestation of our fear. Mr. Frosty returned, and his mood swings had become increasingly unpredictable, his bouts of silence as terrifying as his sudden outbursts. When another customer arrived a few minutes later, Mr. Frosty smacked at my face in anger, ordered a...
Whoa. Whoa. What you... what? You know what? You lucky I'm already frozen and numb and probably didn't even feel that slap because of how numb I am. But I want you to know, once I get up out of here, we gotta see each other. You can't just bitch slap me and then we just gonna be cool after. No. I gotta get you.
Us to stay quiet and then went out. The cold had numbed our limbs, but desperation lent us strength. We crawled towards the front of the truck, our eyes fixed on the music system above the driver's seat. On 3, I'll boost you up, Jim. Just hit the buttons. Any of them. Change the tune. Change the pattern. Anything. I boosted Jim up, his fingers trembling but determined as they danced over the controls. The jingle warped, a discordant melody, and then the channel changed to play a heavy metal music that blasted off the speakers. It was a sound no one could ignore. Mr. Frosty's shadow loomed at the truck's window, his face contorted in a rage unlike any we'd seen. The door flung open, and he lunged at us, his scream piercing the night. The terror of that moment was paralyzing, his madness fully unveiled in the moonlight. But it was his distraction with the music system, his need to correct the melody, that provided me with a crucial moment. My eyes caught sight of his ice pick, carelessly left on the driver's seat. It was a grim choice, but it was all I had. As Mr. Frosty's back was turned, I grabbed the ice pick. I lunged forward with the pick and just slammed it into his body as many times as I could with whatever strength my little body could come up.
It sounds like you stabbed him in his ass, but alright.
With. The pick found its mark, and Mr. Frosty staggered back, the shock in his eyes mirrored by my own horror at what I'd done. You betrayed the ice spirits! His fall gave us the seconds we needed. We spilled out into the night, our screams mingling with the now chaotic jingle of the truck, a cacophony of fear and hope. The neighborhood, roused by the noise, became our rescuers as lights flickered on, doors opened, and the reality of our situation dawned on the community. The police arrived swiftly, their sirens a symphony of salvation, as they took a beating Mr. Frosty away. His eyes met mine, a chilling mixture of confusion and accusation. But in that moment, I felt no triumph. Only the weight of our narrow escape. It would take years of healing to recover from that horror. Looking back...
Y'all said the neighbors come and helped y'all and all that's great. Where are the parents? Which one of these neighbors belongs to these children, child? What is happening? Is this a foster home? Like, what's going on? Where are the parents?
Those harrowing hours in Mr. Frosty's clutches taught me about the depths of human resilience, the strength that emerges from the coldest darkness. We were more than survivors. We were warriors of our own fates, bound by a night of terror, but freed by our own will to live. 15 years have passed since that night, but the lessons remain. A reminder of both the fragility and the indomitable spirit of youth. As I recount this tale, I do so not as a victim, but as a testament to the power of hope, the enduring melody of survival that no darkness could ever silence.
are some interesting stories, I tell you what. Because, baby, they are implementing elements that just are crazy. And I'm just like, where are. I have questions. I just have questions. But, girl, let me know what y'all think about this down in the below in the comment section. I surely appreciate it. I'll be down there engaging with you guys. So, yeah. We'll be back for some other shit. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Bye bye.